So, sir, what he's telling? Panigrahi, sir, Dr. Panigrahi.
Just waiting for him.
Okay.
Should be joining in a moment.
Yeah. And who are the participants?
Pardon?
Participants.
Participants, some have joined.
Okay.
You can see the number on the icon on the bottom.
Okay.
It is 10.
Bottom. एक रख देती काट के.
Dr. Panigrahi, have you joined?
It's not seen, no?
He is not seen. Maybe he's facing some problem or something. Let's wait for just a couple of minutes.
Okay.
He is now. Now we can see his icon. Welcome, Dr. Panigrahi.
Video is off and he's mute. Where is he? I cannot see. Yeah, he's come. Yes, I can see.
Dr. Panigrahi, please unmute and say something.
Yeah. Yes, speak up, please.
No, first unmute yourself. Unmute yourself.
Yeah, mute. It is mute. Muted. It's not. Still muted. Now it's okay, I think.
Now.
So welcome to this great Zoom event of this afternoon. Alternatives to single-use plastic. I would like to congratulate Sri Anup Kumar Srivastava-ji.
Thank you.
Sir, it is for testing, no?
No, it's okay, I think. Now.
Okay.
Now streaming. Yeah, can start now. I think Swasab can.
It's already 4:31.
Yeah, we can start it.
So can you all hear me?
Yes, sure.
Okay. Okay, esteemed panelists, Dr. Srikanth K. Panigrahi, Dr. S.K. Nigam, Dr. Sameer Chekkali, members of the Foundation for Campaign Against Plastic Pollution, and the participants, very good afternoon. My name is Anup Kumar Srivastava. I am founder director of Foundation for Campaign Against Plastic Pollution, which we shall refer to as CAP hereinafter. I am moderator for this webinar. Ms. Nidhi Srivastava, a member of the CAP and who is also my daughter, is co-moderator.
Okay.
On behalf of the CAP, I extend hearty welcome to you all to this webinar on alternatives to single-use plastics.
Very good. Thank you.
This is the second webinar in the series of webinars that CAF has decided to organize with a view to create awareness about various issues related to plastic pollution and to evolve practical solutions to mitigate and gradually eliminate this scourge from our beautiful planet. For those of you who do not know, CAP is an NGO whose mission is to significantly reduce plastic pollution in environment through creation of awareness about the harms of plastic pollution and to educate people at large about the safe disposal of plastic waste. The members of the CAP come from a wide spectrum of fields. Why did I call plastic pollution a scourge? Reason is this. There is already around 6 to 7 billion tons of plastic litter in landfills and environment. Most of it is present in the oceans. Every year we are adding over 8 million tons of plastic litter in the oceans. If the current practices of waste management continue without improvement, and if the production and use of single-use plastics continue unabated, there will be about 12 billion tons of plastic litter in the landfills and environment by 2050. There will be more plastic than the fish in the oceans. Every year we are losing around 100,000 marine lives and 1 million seabirds due to plastic pollution. In cities around the world, plastic waste clogs drains, causing floods and breeding diseases. Consumed by livestock, it also finds its way into the food chain. If it is not a scourge, then what it is? Bulk of plastic pollution, as we know, is due to indiscriminate production and consumption of single-use plastics. If we have to conquer the humongous plastic pollution, the production and use of single-use plastic has to be cut down drastically. This would require complete phasing out of certain single-use plastics, which would in turn require introduction of alternatives to single-use plastics. This webinar is intended to focus on what alternatives to single-use plastics are already available, what efforts are underway to evolve the alternatives, and what further steps are needed to be taken to evolve more alternatives which are cost-effective, eco-friendly, and easy to use. Quite obviously, there are many stakeholders in this game. Who are they? They are governments, industry, businesses, educational and research institutions, and laboratories. Media and citizens' role is also important, as we have to come out of our mental trap and think out of box to discover and use alternatives which are already available around us. I want to make a couple of announcements now. Please listen to these carefully. Participants will be in mute mode during the webinar. If and when you have any question to ask, please type your question in the question answer box and also indicate the name of the panelist you want your question to answer. Your questions can be upvoted by the audience. We will select a few questions and take them up between 5:30 and 5:50 p.m. If your question is selected, we will unmute you and request you to ask your question live to the panelists concerned. For this, please make sure that your name is entered correctly and that your camera and mic are working properly. Second, your video will not be visible throughout the webinar, but will become visible when you are asked to speak by us. Before we commence the webinar, let me introduce our esteemed guests. I will first introduce Dr. Srikanth K. Panigrahi. Dr. Panigrahi is a leading Indian sustainability thought leader who is also a statesman, policy maker, technocrat, strategist, environmental city planner, sustainability practitioner, Gandhian ecologist, editor, author, and poet. He is the Director General of prestigious National Public Policy Think Tank and Research Institute, Indian Institute of Sustainable Development, New Delhi, and member to Prime Minister on National Strategic Knowledge Mission on Climate Change, along with the steering, technical expert committees, working groups, task forces of different ministries, including Technology, Information, Forecasting Assessment Council of Government of India and UNFCCC. I now introduce Dr. S.K. Nigam. Dr. Nigam is a former director of Central Pollution Control Board, an advisor and expert on plastics and solid waste management. Presently, he is advisor to the Department of Environment, Government of Delhi and DPCC. Dr. Nigam had also been an expert member of the working group for new plastic waste management rules to be notified by the Government of India. He is a member of Bureau of Indian Standard in all plastic related matters. Dr. Nigam has published several reports on plastic waste management and papers in reputed journals in India and abroad. He has introduced innovative technologies for treatment and disposal of plastic waste. He has been advising central government for improvement in plastic waste management issues and systems from time to time. Finally, I introduce Dr. Sameer Chikkali. After his doctoral and postdoctoral research abroad, in 2012, Dr. Chikkali returned to India and joined CSIR National Chemical Laboratory, Pune, to start his independent research career. His honors and awards include Fellowship from Indian Academy of Science, DPI Postdoctoral Fellowship, AVH Fellowship, the Ramanujam Fellowship, Best Scientist Award by North Maharashtra University Scientist of the Year Award by NCLRF, and Young Associate of Maharashtra Academy of Sciences 2017. His work has led to over 54 publications in international journals of high repute. He is an inventor on 15 patents and has edited a book. I once again extend my hearty welcome to all of you, particularly the esteemed guest speakers and also members of the CAP and our distinguished participants. We will now commence the webinar. I request Dr. Shrikant K. Panigrahi to deliver the keynote address. Over to Dr. Shrikant K. Panigrahi.
It is indeed a great pleasure to meet all of you in this auspicious afternoon of 28th day of the November 2020. And we all have met in a great purpose, and we because not only for our interest, but it shows that we all are in principle committed for this great cause. And it is one of the great threatening alarm to entire humanity for all of our existence. And it is a call of the time. We all need to address and face collectively. Before starting my presentation, I must congratulate Sri Anup Kumar Srivastava, who is a very eminent policymaker and who has served the government at the level of Secretary to Government of India. He could have a enjoyable retirement life, but in spite of that, he has come out of his way and take up a great cause for which I find him he's committed round the clock and pushing this great issue in the interest of not only in the interest of Delhi or NCR or India or but for the entire planet. So I must congratulate him for his dedication and national and humanitarian interest to push this sector and give all of us opportunities to speak in this occasion today. I am equally proud to have two of my panelists, Dr. S.K. Nigam and Dr. Samir Chikle, who is are also the scientist of national eminence, and they have great background on the subject. And considering their background, their academic profile, and in their area of activities, I have tried my presentations to curtailed and to make it more meaningful with the limited time that we are allocated, so that it will supplement each other and gel our overall presentation of the webinar in the interest of the member of the CAP. I will also congratulate and welcome all the CAP members who have shown enough interest to join this great forum, to come together for this great causes. And I will like to tell them the angels of the time who will carry this great message and center stage the planet as well, India as well as the planet, to make it plastic pollution free and a earth to be a more livable place. I have a great working credentials with a number of scientific ministries of Government of India, and and also served at the very senior level, at the secretary level, and particularly most of my time is with Environment and Forest Ministry, MNRE, Jal Shakti Ministry, and Science and Technology Ministry, which also includes Ministry of Space and other ministries as well, including Ministry of Culture and Tourism. I had a great opportunity to work on almost all the issues on of environment, and particularly climate change in detail, energy, water, natural resources management, and sustainability as a whole. So, considering sustainability as a whole, we consider it of three types. One is social sustainability, is one of the pillars of sustainability. Next is environmental sustainability. It is again very strong and second important pillar of sustainability. And third is the business sustainability. So we need to balance social, environmental, and business sustainability together to ensure sustainable development. Many people feel sustainable development is just a buzzword. It doesn't mean anything, and anything you say, it will come under that blah blah blah. So it is not like that. It has a specific boundary. It has a specific meaning. And here we all are here to take up the plastic pollution issue, which is a matter of great concerns in environmental sustainability. So far as environmental sustainability is concerned, the basic elements of life that Panchabhuta, as per the Indian spiritual, ethical, religious scripts, that out of that, the water, air, fire, the atmosphere, the all these things are there first. So out of this, if you see the nature as a whole, now we are going through a very difficult phase. Those days has been gone. The day the plastic was invented, invented, people celebrated. It is a great blessing to mankind. Plastic is a boon to humankind. It will simplify our um, life struggle. It will improve the quality of life. It is a miracle inventions, scientific inventions that all the humanity celebrated. But those days are not there. The entire planet is going through a huge crisis of existence. That also many of us don't understand, unfortunately, particularly in this part of the world, in developing countries, especially, unfortunately, including a leading developing country like India. People still take the things very casually, and now because of plastic pollution, because of climate change, because of all the great threats that are alarming threats, they are putting um, uh, question mark to the existence of the planet, has eroded the planet to such an extent that almost 30 to 35 of our valuable species are already been extincted. The global temperature 1.5 degree is not very far. We are at 1.15 degree centigrade, higher than what humanity can tolerate. And this higher temperature has resulted sea level rise, um, loss of water quality and quantity, agricultural production losses, dengue, malaria, vector-borne diseases, manifolding, and all sorts of problem. And plastic has added to this problem and made it very complex and critical. Um, if you see the flow of the winds, the you see India is facing cyclones one after another almost every month now. Natural calamities has become very common in our daily day-to-day life. And because the air pressure belts are drastically changing, those air pressure belts which used to be normal, the air pressure belts, and from high pressure always at lower level, the wind used to flow to the lower pressure belt. That principles of the air dynamics, the principle and science is still the same, but the pressure belts have changed. The ocean currents have changed. The hot currents are no more there where it is used to be. The cold currents are no more there where it is used to be. Some of the hot currents has become cold currents. Some of the cold currents has become hot currents. So it has created topsy-turvy and a problem in planetary ecosystems, which is supplementing each other in life supporting system. Now, this is in general, which is very basic for all of us to understand. And this planet is only home to all of us. The country boundaries is not regarded by environment. Anybody is creating any pollution in US or Japan or in Helsinki or in Maldives, it is equally harms to the one poorest farmer of the India, and even any somebody does something here, it also equally harms to a rich citizen of the planet. There are a lot of imbalance. We have not yet given 100% safe water to each one of us in this planet. And that is why the 17 UN sustainability goals are there, and IIST is committedly working with Government of India and UN system in that directions. But keeping that all aside, let us come to the plastic. Plastic, people when invented plastic, they keep on more and more business joined hands, and businesses flourished, and it really came in daily day-to-day lives of us. It has really made simple our living style to a great extent. There is no doubt in about that. But subsequently, when it is started questioning in our own life system, because you see this Panchabhuta, like air never say don't pollute me. The water doesn't say don't abuse me, behave me properly. Or if you abuse nature, nature remains always silent. The earth doesn't shout for its protection. And when somebody is shouting against protection, and we are not able to give enough policing, and how can we protect nature with all the creatures and including human beings? We are very selfish and self-centered people, and we have and how can we ensure justice and protection to nature? We have never cared for it over years, and now nature have started reacting in terms of disaster, in terms of hurricanes, in terms of urban floods, in terms of whatnot. Mm, And
Ravi,
coming to the plastic, unfortunately, the 45% of the ocean landmass is covered with plastic by now, and the rate is alarming. And anything we dispose any plastic, they have a life. Everything has a life cycle, but some of the plastic, particularly the single-use plastic, their life cycle is very longer. They don't decompose so fast. They are not biodegradable, and it takes over years and years for their decomposition. And ultimately, as Anup sir described, it goes to landfill and ultimately goes to rivers, ultimately ends up in oceans. If we will fly from India or any part of the world towards the west coast of USA, that California, Bay Area and all that, after Japan, the Pacific Ocean, the entire Pacific Ocean, that is a belt of the ocean which is not very active. And always cold currents and passive role it has played compared to Atlantic Ocean on the other side of US, or even the other oceans, those who are there. But if you will watch a single blue sea is not watchable from the plane, and it is all multicolor kind of things. The whole ocean, Pacific Ocean of that belt is covered with plastic. And there are many satellite pictures are available in the net, you can see. Because of lack of time, I'm not going into details. And this plastic, when start decomposing very slowly, single-use plastic, they became the microplastic. Unfortunately, at the top of the Everest, Mount Everest, this microplastic has been found. A renowned US university took the 5 sample, and it confirmed in all the 5 sample the presence of microplastic. Glaciers are melting at faster rate because of climate change, and when microplastics are there inside it, the rate of melting is further fastened. And this plastics in the snow or in the sea, it reacts. Our seawater is NaCl, the sodium chloride, and it reacts with it is a chemical itself. It is not the normal neutral water. It reacts with plastic, a different kind of plastic that is having different chemical compound and composition, and creating very adverse materials which not only degenerate the reproductive capacity of our marine life, but also kills them and helps them in extinct And as it has been already told, so to save the mankind, India's 18 states have their banned it, and central government has declared ban it. Central government is working on a long-term draft plan for disposal of microplastics, where probably Dr. Nigam is also associated. And mm, we are actually too late. We are in an alarming state, and this is we must wake up to take these issues very seriously. Due to a lack of time, I will not expand my presentation longer. I will briefly tell you regarding through one or two YouTube videos. I would like to explain you what are the solutions, and how many things scientists can do, like Dr. Anup Srivastava ji explained. There are all the stakeholders has a role, and even an ordinary citizen of the planet has a great role to play. And what are the simple solutions in daily day-to-day life? As it is advocated to lead a climate-friendly lifestyle, which ensures least carbon footprint, equally least plastic footprint life we need to lead. And for that, we need to adopt certain sustainable practices. And there are one is a 1 minute video, another is a 5-minute video. I will request, if time permits, for the display of that.
Thank you for your present talk, Dr. Panigrahi, very illuminating. What we can do is we can hear Dr. Nigam, because the time is already exceeded. We can hear Dr. Nigam and then Dr. Sameer. Thereafter, we will show these videos.
Fine, sir.
Okay.
Fine, sir.
So may I now request Dr. Nigam?
Yeah, sure, sure. Yeah, tell me. Good afternoon. Srivastava again, Dr. Sameer and Dr. Panigrahi, for giving the thoughtful presentation or lecture. And I'll give you a very brief slides, on the, especially on the plastic and single-use plastics, based on the Ministry of Environment and Forest guidelines, as well as CPCB studies. So I'll share the screen, and let me show you. Whether they are visible, tell me. I think now it's visible, Svasa? Slide is visible? Hello, wait. You muted yourself. Hello.
It is visible.
Okay. So this is the simple first slide. And second is, what are the plastic? I think it's not to be explained, but why it is not biodegradable? It is a very valid question here. The man of polymer science and might understand. It's a long chain of hydrocarbons, and it's difficult to break. That's why it is non-degradable, non-biodegradable, and remain on Earth for several years. That is a big issue. If it is recyclable or reusable, it's okay, but all cannot be done. That's why it's a issue is there. Plastic issue is there. And as per the rules, the definition I have just taken, it is an essential ingredient as high polymer of ethylene and polypropylene. There are 7 categories of plastic. That is very, very important, I would say, because everybody says plastic is recyclable, So PET, 7 categories are already notified in the rule. That is a PET, LDP, PVC, SDP, PP, PS, and others. And they have been given 7 numbers, 1 to 7 like this. I have not written here full because it's not required. So these numbers are very important, Why they are given? Because of recyclability. Because it can be collected and recycled. So PET is 1, LDP 2, PVC 3, SDP 4, PP 5, PS 6, and others plastic which are multi-layered and non-recyclable is 7 number. Issues and challenges, it has already been discussed. Mainly the littering problems there everywhere, that everybody understand, burning, substandard on all of these, why the issues has come because of these single-use plastic majorly, because there's a use and throw and cannot be collected. Ultimately, they are dumped here, burnt here, land up oceans and all those mountains everywhere. And non-recyclable plastics also is a major issue because it cannot be like multi-layer and metallized pouches and thermoset, all your TV sets and all telephone sets and all the the computers things, they are thermoset, cannot be recycled. So it can be only burnt, it can be co-incinerated. And now what is the issue? Because unscientific disposal of plastic SUPs is creating problem. So that is why this is a big challenge. In 17th of January 2019, and there are 21 of January 2019, rather it is, the Secretary Environment and Forest has written to Chief Secretaries of all the states. This is all available on the website, that India has commitment to phase out single-use plastic by 2020, as agreed in 2018. I think you might be aware during the first June World Environment Day, 1st to 5th June 2018. So ill impacts of plastic waste which are not recyclable, biodegradable are well known. Secretary Umib had earlier written to all chief secretaries with a request to phase out SUP in offices and during elections also. Secretary observation was there. I mean, that I think might be aware, lot of campaigning material, including posters, cutouts, hoardings, banners. I think, this is all plastics, but it's very difficult plastic. It is all PVC material. These cutouts, hoardings, banners, they're all PVC things, made of plastics, PVC. Basically, after the elections, the campaigning material discarded and become waste. Such single-use plastics waste generated during the campaigning does not get collected and causes choking of drain and river system, ingestion by stray animal, land and water pollution, open air burning, leading to adverse impacts on human health and environment. Some of these plastics, PVC based, which produce toxic emissions on burning. So, and list of single-use plastic is also been attached in the guidelines. They have listed out certain categories of plastics, which are the basic guidelines as of now, because it has not been notified. It is simple guideline have been issued and states have to follow. The plastic cutlery, plates, cups, glasses, forks, thermocol, styrofoam is a big issue. This cannot be recycled, never. Thermocol is a very, very big issue in India. Disposable dish bowl used for packaging of food in hotels, silver plastic foil bag, plastic silver pouch like multi-layer packaging, PET water bottle having water holding capacity of less than 500 ml, including drinking water sealed glasses, single-time use and throw items like razors, brush, pens, it's plastic packing. See, we are using a lot of things, daily, but these are very big problems, plastic and thermocol packaging, decoration purposes, non-woven polypropylene. Non-woven is also a big issue. Non-woven, look like fabric, but this is a plastic, polypropylene, and it cannot be recycled also. Oxygen, photodegradable carry bags, plastic carry bags with or without handle less than 50 micron of any shape except bio-based compostable. So these are 9 major categories have been identified by the Secretary Environment in 2019. Legal option for phasing out of single. State administration is intending to introduce a prohibitive action on single-use plastics, may identify a clear list of products that need to be targeted through this measure so that there is no ambiguity. Every state has to now, it has been given a chance, liberty to identify what are the basic issues in their states, why the plastic is coming, why it's not being collected. The products may include all plastic carry bags with or without handles, irrespective of thickness and size, plastic cutlery, including plates, plastic, glass straws, and cutlery and other decorative made of styrofoam, thermocol. So these are the legal options. This you can always, phase it out in a due course of time. Promotion. They have also indicated in the guideline, which have been issued by Secretary Environment, A number of alternative options to use of plastic in campaigning material are available, such as compostable material plastics, like CPCB is the certifying agency, and the list of certified compostable manufacturers and sellers is available on the CPCB website. Now there are about 100 something, 110. Yesterday I saw there 120 such manufacturers are available in India, which are supplying this kind of compostable material. Natural fabrics, recycled paper material, which have lesser environmental impact. So these are the alternative material. Such material need to be promoted as a sustainable and environmentally sound management practices. The MPs, MLAs, municipal bodies, and panchayat elections present an excellent opportunity to introduce a behavioral change in election campaigning, as well as daily grocery use to promote and introduce such material. So because in India, I think democratic country, elections are held every month, I think, somewhere. Throughout year it is happening, So that's a big, big loophole, a clue to introduce such kind of alternative material. Restricting use of SOP in certain places. This is also one option, has been suggested by Ministry of Environment and Forest, called climate change. All government offices, foreign offices, and other offices under the Ministry control shall discourage to use plastic products, including artificial flower banners, flags, flower pots, PET plastic water bottles, plastic folder trays, any other plastic material for which an alternative exists. So this is a kind of way forward. All government offices, subordinate offices shall promote and practice source segregation. Public sector enterprise should be encouraged to promote such phase and promote such phase out of single-use plastics. Private sector should also be encouraged to give up single-use plastic voluntarily through extended producer responsibility. Because now a new concept has been introduced to minimize the littering through the EPR. I think this is a new concept. In 2018, it has been introduced in the rule. And I have made a document protocol for this. It is all available on the website. Next, I think this is the last slide. There are 9 slides only, very limited I have kept, because I don't want to give only the main points, lest I want to hear from the others. So Srivastava, this is my very short presentation, basics only. So I think it's okay for me. Tell me what to. Very fast, I think I have done.
Very much, Dr. Nigam, for your excellent presentation. Short and sweet and very crisp, very clear. And you have kept the time limit very nicely. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I will now request Dr. Sameer Chikkali of NCL to kindly make his presentation. Dr. Sameer.
Good.
A very good afternoon. At the outset, I would like to thank the organizers, Sri Srivastavji, for giving me this opportunity to present here. What I would like to do in next 15 minutes is to give you a scientific perspective about alternatives to single-use plastic. Is the presentation visible?
It is visible. It is visible.
Okay. Thank you. So the agenda for next 15 minutes is to refresh your basics about what is plastic, what is single-use plastic, where is it used. I think some of my previous speakers have spoken about it. I will not spend much time on that. But I will try to tell you a little bit more about what is plastic, what are the myths, and how can we clear these myths with facts. Okay. Then there is the talk is, or the discussion today here is about potential alternatives. As a scientist, what do I feel? What are the potential alternatives, and where is the future? Technologies that are really going to stand against commercialization, meaning even if there is an alternative and if it is techno-commercially not feasible, you can't expect them to be out in market. Okay, and then at the end, I will briefly tell you about social awareness and what policy makers can do for making our life easier and better. Let us begin with what is plastic. Okay, many of you have studied in your schools and colleges that when we take a breathe, when we inhale, we take oxygen. Okay, we take nitrogen. So what are these? These are atoms. Okay, atoms are the smallest part of any substance. If you combine them together or make bonds between them, like you can see, I'm moving a cursor here on your left hand side. If you can see that, if I make a CH bond, okay, then I make a hydrocarbon. Okay, now this hydrocarbon here is a ethylene molecule. Okay, if you try to take many ethylene molecules and stitch them together, you get polyethylene, the same polyethylene that you use as a carry bag. Okay, the same polyethylene can be used as a carry bag. It can be also used as a bulletproof jacket. Okay, so this is the plastic that you call. Okay, this side on the right hand side, what you see here is a polymer, that is
Polymer.
plastic. Now there are many different types of plastics. Okay, the major chunk is called polyolefins, that is polyethylene, polypropylene, polystyrene, which is used in packaging, carry bags, or styrofoam. Okay, for many different applications. So if you look at small molecules, like we eat drugs, right? We take medicine, our body is able to digest it, isn't it? Whereas if you take polymer, it is not, because polymers have inbuilt different properties. For example, if you take a small molecule like sugar or a medicine, you can actually separate a single molecule. But if you take polymers, it is like spaghetti. So if you try to take one chain of the polymer, another chain comes with it. Okay. So it also has an advantage that offers these different properties to polymers. For example, you can use them in bulletproof vests, whereas you cannot use sugar or rice to make bulletproof vests. Okay. So these are the advantageous properties that polymer offers, and that's why they were commercialized. So if you try to go back about 100 years, let's say 1920, did we know about polymers? I think nobody knew. Nobody in the world knew about polymers in 1920. But within 100 years, if you compare with Iron Age and Stone Age, which were there for hundreds of years, the plastic age is only 100-year old. But look at the problem we have created. So what I will do is I will try to give you what are polymers, okay? How can we use them beneficially, and how can we address the challenges of single-use plastic? So the plastics got popular because they offer advantageous properties. I'm going to tell you only about two properties, okay, or two applications. The first one relates to our human health. Okay, all of us would like to live longer, as long as possible, right? So the old age problem is joints. So if you can't move or if you can't walk, your life is reduced, or you cannot function properly. So if you look at hip joint or knee joints, these are coming from a plastic, same plastic, like I said, polyethylene. So ultra high molecular weight polyethylene is used for hip and knee joints. Okay, without that, you will not have operations, you will not have replacement. Another example, which is a very fresh example, if you look at Boeing Dreamliner 787, if you take weight by weight, 50% of this Dreamliner is made up of plastic. Okay, either polyethylene or different types of plastics. Only 20% is aluminum. Steel is only 10% because it has higher weight, okay, lower volume. Others are only 5%. So plastics offer very advantageous properties and that make our life very easy. Okay, so that's why these are being used. Now, if you look at carbon footprint, which is actually a summation of all the bad effects any material can create. Okay, if you look at carbon footprint, and if I try to define it in a layman's language, it is basically how much carbon you are eliminating in the environment. And I have put up a figure here at the bottom. What you can see here is which material emits how much of carbon and requires how much of energy for processing. I have given on the top here is only PVC, one polymer I have given, which has little higher carbon emission and carbon footprint than polyethylene and polypropylene. So if you want to replace, let's say, plastic by these materials, either steel or aluminum, actually the carbon footprint is much higher. Okay, that means if you try to count overall danger of this material or plastics to the planet is much lesser compared to the other one. Okay, so if you look at plastics, let us admit, okay, plastics offer beneficial properties that's undeniable. We all agree. That's why within 100 years, they are everywhere around us. I'm wearing this shirt, which also is made up of plastic. The laptop that I'm using also has hundreds of different plastics. Mobile you use has also plastics, has screens, has different regulators. So it's also, for example, plastic save countless lives, either in terms of joint replacement or even in medical. Plastic is used like anything. It has replaced many glass and metal equipments in medical. So it has better performance, even better than steel sometimes. Okay, it has low carbon footprint, as I have shown on the right hand side. The major reason why plastics become so popular is it is cheap material. So that is what drives the customers. That's the major reason. Okay, so the other materials actually cannot compete with plastics on price terms. So plastic isn't a problem, right? So what is the problem then? So the problem is this one. The problem is the way we use it. Okay, it is not that plastic is a problem. We created plastics, but the problem is the way we use it. Okay, as a responsible citizen of this planet, I think we have to change our ways of using it. I have shown some pictures, which I think you all are familiar, how it is littered, where it is littered. At the beginning, Srivastavji said that so much has gone to oceans, it is affecting our life cycle and so on. So I think it is the way we use it. Now coming to single-use plastic. So there are some myths about plastic and some myths about single-use plastic. So let me differentiate a little bit, okay? So if you look at overall plastic, if you look at in 2019, the world produced about 300 million tons of plastic, okay? Out of that, about 45% is actually a single-use plastic that goes to different types of packaging applications, okay? Now, among these 45–50%, what are the major classes? So I have listed on the right-hand side, HDPE, that's high density polyethylene. It's kind of polyethylene that is used for different types of making. For example, you carry vegetables, no? The farmers bring it to a mandi and from there it is shifted to local vendors within the city. So it is shifted in a crate or a kind of plastic tray. So these are made up of HDPE. Low density polyethylene that is used for carry bags, for wrapping, for keeping the food fresh. Polypropylene, for example, all the drinking bottles. The bottle is made up of PET, but the cap is made up of PP. Okay, so that's where polystyrene, all these cups that we drink tea, disposable cups. Okay, and packaging material that when you buy something from Amazon or for any other market, it comes with some packaging. Most of it is either polystyrene or polyethylene or expanded polypropylene. The last one is PET, that's polyethylene terephthalate. Okay, that's the bottle that everyone is aware of, the bottle that we drink water with. Okay, so the last one in India is not a bigger concern. About 80–85% of it is recycled. So we are better off in India. That is not true with the other parts of the world where it is thrown away. Okay, so this is so if I have to define single-use plastic, as you can see here, so the plastic intended to be used only once before it is thrown away. Okay, that you can define as a single-use plastic. Everything else is a plastic, but not single-use plastic. Okay. So if you look at the current status, I mean, how much packaging material is produced and what is per capita, that is per person packaging waste created. Okay, on your x-axis, you see countries here. On your y-axis, you see million metric tons. So for example, if I give you an example of America, so about 20 million metric tons of packaging material is produced or consumed. Whereas if I try to count per person, only I'm talking about single-use plastic. This is not the whole plastic, but single-use plastic in the US is about 50 kgs. Okay, so the single-use plastic per capita is 50 kg, whereas total plastic produced is in million metric tons. Okay, so if you look at India on your right-hand side, we are much better off. Okay, we produce less, and also our per capita is lesser. Whereas if you look at Japan, they produce less, but per capita is much higher. Japan doesn't have a problem of single-use plastic because they have a very well-established system to handle it. Okay, although they consume a lot, they have a very well-established system. So if you look at all this packaging material or single-use plastic, where does it go after the use? Okay, so there were many examples that earlier speakers told about. So if I have to segregate it, for example, only 14% is recycled. Okay, then 40% goes to landfill. Leakage is 32%. So this is the bigger concern, this leakage. Okay, so this is actually that we are not able to bring it back either in terms of recycle, incineration, landfill. We are not able to bring this back. This actually goes to water bodies and oceans. Okay, so I think this is where we need to worry about how do we mitigate this, what solution we can find for this. Okay, the potential alternatives, I'm going to come back to how we can mitigate this problem, but to just give an idea, what are the potential solutions? Okay, so you might have heard of something called plant bottle. So this was initiated by Coca-Cola, and they claim that their bottle is fully green. That means this is polyethylene terephthalate. That means it has ethylene glycol and terephthalic acid as two monomers, both of which come from renewable resource. So that means these monomers, they grow every year, okay, in terms of plants, and then extract and then use them to make this plant bottle. Okay, now this is a renewable resource bottle, but it is again PET, polyethylene terephthalate. Okay, now does it degrade? Okay, we know that the fossil fuel based monomers also give PET, but it is not degradable. Okay, so the other three alternatives that I have shown is PLA, polylactic acid. Okay, now this technology is among the three is better off, is mature. There is a commercial supplier. We don't have them in India, but there is a company which makes. Okay, NatureWorks makes it. In India, we import. The technology is little restricted in terms of patents and licenses because see, lactic acid is coming from different kind of sugars. You need a fermentation processes to first make the monomer, that is lactic acid, and then you can polymerize to make polylactic acid. Okay, that in India we don't have as of now. There are attempts, but these are not very successful. There are others, P3HB. Okay, so this actually you feed kind of algae and they produce the polymer. Not that we synthesize in an industry, but algae, if you feed them with certain kind of food, they produce this polymer, which is also supposed to be degradable polymer. Then there is a PBS. Okay, this is also kind of degradable polymers. Okay, these are the alternative options, but none of them in India are operating. PLA is one. I will come to that in a minute. There is also another option, that is EcoVio or EcoFlex. This is being sold by BASF. So BASF is a German chemical company. It's the oldest chemical company. And they are also in India. So in Bombay, they have their headquarters. They produce these grades, which they claim are biodegradable and renewable. Okay, so these are the options. But if you look at European bioplastic report, okay, there are a lot of confusions. What are the confusions? Now, if you say that it's a renewable plastic, is it necessarily degradable? Okay, PET, for example, the PET bottle or plant bottle from Coca-Cola is renewable because all the monomers are coming from trees. Okay, but it doesn't degrade. Okay, whereas on the other side, if you look at fossil fuel at the bottom, fossil fuel resource, okay, you can make same PET. Okay, it's non-renewable resource, but the polymer is not degradable. On the top, okay, it's a renewable resource, but still the polymer is not degradable. So if you look at this quadrant, the top right-hand quadrant is the right place where you will have renewable resource and degradable polymers. Okay. Now, degradable doesn't necessarily mean degradation at room temperature. Doesn't necessarily mean you throw it on a road and it will degrade. Okay. What does it mean by degradable here? For example, PLA, if you throw it on the road, even in Indian condition, it will not degrade. It requires composters. That means you heat these materials, for example, PLA, somewhere around above 50 degree to 80 degree. Under certain condition, it requires certain moisture, certain bacteria, okay? Then it can degrade, okay? So these are called composters. We don't have them in India, but in Europe, with public-private partnership, Germany, for instance, has installed some composters. So they can take this material and put them in the composters. It doesn't require much energy because the temperatures are much lower, and you can then decompose them. So I hope I have been able to clear few myths about degradability, renewability, and then what are single-use plastics, that what are the alternatives for single-use plastics. Okay. So this is about one alternative. There is another alternative which is not yet been thought about, but it is coming up very quickly in the scientific community. Okay, the one that I have shown here is currently what happens. If you look at this left-hand side cycle, what we do, we take resource, either it is plant or fossil fuel. We make feedstocks, then we make monomers, then we polymerize them. From polymers, we make products. Products go to waste, and then waste is left out. Okay. Now, whatever dotted green lines, so these are our possibilities to bring back it in the cycle. Okay. So this IL1, 2, 3, whatever you see, these are the possibilities where I can bring it back to the cycle. So if we can do scientifically, then we can actually achieve circular economy. That means I can, for example, on the top, what you see here is the same polyethylene. Can I depolymerize it to get ethylene? So then I don't need to worry about where it is going, microbes are degrading or not degrading, or what they are doing. Okay. So these are the thoughts where we can think about how we can depolymerize. Okay. Industry may not be interested or may not be very happy to do this, because if you look at commercial analysis of this, ethylene today is sold at price of 30 rupees a kg. And if I use this depolymerization, which comes at higher value, they would not buy it. Okay. So we have to think about depolymerizing polyethylene to value-added products. Okay. So coming to social awareness, so this plays a very important role, because see, plastic is not a problem. I say it's the way we use it. Okay, that's where I think the onus is on us. How do we use it? So it is more expensive to clean up tomorrow than to prevent plastic pollution today. So there are some thoughts here. For example, it is our responsibility to educate. Okay, educate our people to how to use it, facilitate. So simply saying that plastic is bad or good doesn't help until you facilitate. Okay. For example, I have been in Europe for more than 9 years. And even if I am at the bus stop, if I finish drinking my water, there is a vending machine where I can put and get 10 cents back. Okay. So then I don't throw it. I just put in the vending machine and get my 10 cents back. So we have to facilitate infrastructure. So creating infrastructure to facilitate this, incentivize. For example, I said I get 10 cent or 5 cent back, and it doesn't matter whether it's 1 cent or 10 cent. Okay, but I'm getting something back. So incentivizing is also important. So coming to what policy interventions can be done, one is ban. I think it was talked about ban, but we have to really think about does that really help? Okay. I think ban without a solution is not going to work on the practical ground. It is good to announce, but difficult to implement. Okay. Economic instrument. Can we use economic instrument to reduce use of single-use plastic? Or combination of both, ban on one side, economic instruments on the other side? Or use public-private partnership, like to make composters and incentivize people. So if you look at these 3 or 4 parameters, how is the world doing and where we are? Okay, at the bottom you see number of countries in that continent. For example, Oceania is basically Australia and New Zealand only, and most of it is uses ban. Okay, North America is not shown here because it is mostly US and Canada, and every state has implemented different strategies there. Europe, you can see ban is very less. Okay, whereas economic instrument is the large chunk, and private public partnership is another large chunk. So this is, in my opinion, the most successful model that exists today. It is not the ideal model, but the most successful among what we have. In Central and South America, you can see ban is there. In Asia, you can see mostly it is banned. Okay, some economic instruments have been used and a combination has been used. Africa, it is like a huge ban on by different countries. Okay, but if you look at the result of this, okay, if you ban, is that solve the problem? Or if you use economic instruments and public-private partnership, does that solve the problem? I think the latter is better one. Okay, to conclude, I think as I have shared here, what can be done and who is going to do that. What is the scope and where is the action? Okay, so reuse. I think it's consumers, every one of us, that we have to make sure that if I buy, let's say, a polyethylene bag, how can I reuse it as much as possible? Okay, reduce. Try to not use the bag when it is not required. Okay, recycle. I think government can help here. One good example is our milk pouches. Okay, every day, for example, I buy 1 liter milk. It comes in half-liter pouch. Okay, what is the lifetime? It's HDPE, high density polyethylene. How long do I keep it? Maximum 48 hours, right? After that, it is wasted, right? So I think we need to build a good infrastructure to incorporate and recycle this. It's only 48 hours. The properties of the polymer have not degraded. Okay, you can actually reuse it as such. The last one is recreate. That is where the research and development will help the world to find out a solution that, okay, even if it is, let's say, used and thrown, can I make the monomer and use it and make the cycle run? Okay. At the end, I think if we all join hands, okay, the consumers, producers, government, and R&D, I think we will be able to find an alternative to single-use plastic. With that, I think I would like to thank Sri Srivastavji for giving me an opportunity, my director NCL. Thank you very much. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer.
Thank you very much, Dr. Sameer. Excellent presentation, very lucidly explained. And what is the road map? I am very happy that you have drawn a lot from the road report of the United Nations Environment, a roadmap, a single-use plastic, a roadmap for sustainability. Because when it was released, I had gone through it and I have been advocating that everybody should read it, because it really gives you the model that should be actually applied with local modifications. You can, according to the conditions prevailing in a particular country, in a particular area, you can adopt the model and just tweak it accordingly. So this was very good presentation. Thank you very much. I think we can now take question answers. I find that there are 2 questions which have been asked in question answer box. Let me just see what are these questions and who are. There is a question asked by Uma.
Increased online shopping, and it is very sad.
Panigrahi would like to answer this question. Can I ask, Dr. Panigrahi, I will invite your attention. The question is due to, you can also read it, question answer box.
Yes.
Due to increased online shopping,
Mm.
it is very sad to dispose of plastic bags used for packing, like even groceries. Are there any alternatives to such packaging material? We are
Yes.
seeing a lot of online shopping is taking place, and a lot of plastic is being used to home deliver the item. So whether there is any alternative packaging which can be used, packaging material which can be used instead of plastic.
Yes, there is a lot of such alternatives, and there are around 16 alternatives has been discussed in different forum. One of the YouTube video I have flagged. It explains in a very briefly and very simple what are the maximum possible alternatives to the daily carry bag, polythene carry bag. And one is simple, made out of paper. If the material you are carrying is not so heavy and it is having less weight, a paper made handbag, you can carry it always, and recyclability is much better and easily disposable. And not only once, it can be used 3, 4 times, if not many times. There are certain kinds of plastic which is rich in starch and sugar and component which can be easily it is a plastic, but it is 100% degradable, easily degradable. So but it has to be cost effective, and it has a better strength to carry little heavier things, also not very heavy things. So those alternatives are being discussed. And simple solutions are jute bags, cloth bags, and which we Indians are quite familiar with, and internationally they are accepted as well. And it can be used multiple times. It has this washability, its capacity to carry more. This thing is also there, and there are other recyclable plastic related solution on different carry bags. Like in Europe, they have those who are very popular, the all the alternatives been discussed in one of the present YouTube video, and in another two YouTube video, it has been explained in daily day-to-day life, the kind of the things unknowingly we use when we go to a street vendor. He gives us tea in a plastic cup. Mm, that can be avoided, and cheaper and alternative sources are available. So also, like food packaging, you will find a lot of plastic food packaging materials. Those who are of single-use plastic are used. That can be easily avoided. Like cutlery, plastic cutlery. Steels are having 100% recyclability. Metals are having recyclability. It is washable, reusable. So still, the plastic cutleries should be totally banned, and nobody. We should also, as a daily day-to-day life, we should avoid it using. Like we get a lost. We now the fashion for green has increased, but everybody is nobody is willing to risk of watering the plant, whether the plant will survive, how the sun will be ensured, मिट्टी कहाँ से लाया जाएगा. People are going for plastic plants to decorate houses. This is a very unethical and nonsense way of decorating house, which doesn't make any sense, and it leads to practical single plastic use and wastage. So there are very simple solutions against it are also available. If you are not able to do the actual real things, and sometimes it is not cost effective, then even simple alternatives which are cost effective solutions are available, which we have never thought of. On commercial angle, on individual angle, we have never paid enough attention into this. So those 1 minute and 5 minutes video is extremely important. If time permits, we'll display that.
Yeah, yeah.
And in addition, and very brief, I would like to say that 100 billion US dollar opportunity India is having in packaging industry only. By recycling single-use plastic that we are using, either reusing or by prevention, adopting alternatives in our alternatives, where 75% it is a opportunity of 133 billion US dollar, and at least $100 is assured. A scientific study has been done very systematically with Niti Aayog, where we at IIST were also engaged. And Accenture is the lead organization who has organized this study. And considering all the alternatives for plastic, the kind of present trend analysis, trend projections, business as usual scenario, and aggregate material value recovery projections, which is purely based on 100% circular economy concept. Anybody interested can be given references of these documents.
Okay, thank you. There is just one more question.
Yeah.
There was
I
another
think-
question.
I have replied already.
Ajay, you
Amitav,
have
I have
okay.
replied. The best way to minimize plastic pollution is to reduce its use. Also carry a home bag like jute cloth straw for online things. Paper boards and compostable material can be used as it is certified by CPCB. This is the answer of the Amitav second question. I already replied. I don't know if any query is there, it's okay otherwise. Yeah, tell me.
Okay, then we will now play those videos, 1 minute and 5 minutes. We'll play two videos, one after the other. It will require only 6 minutes in total.
Okay, then we shall.
And then
Sir, let us play the second video first. Second video first.
which one is the second one?
The alternatives to single-use plastic bag.
Okay, alternatives to single-use plastic bags. Okay.
The first one is don't let nature go to waste.
Okay, we'll play that second. Okay.
Live.
Sound.
EBP.
See if we found a sound.
We thought it might be a good idea to offer you some. Hi, everybody. Today we're here to discuss alternatives to single-use plastic bags. If your community is banning plastic bags or getting ready to ban plastic bags, we thought it might be a good idea to offer you some alternatives. So 7 alternatives offered by EBP Supply Solutions are paper bags, compostable bags, reusable plastic bags, non-woven polypropylene bags, cotton bags, woven polypropylene bags, and jute bags. The first bag that we're going to talk about as an alternative is a paper bag. Paper bags definitely have some pros, is that many of them are made from recycled fibers. They come with multiple handles, or with or without handles, and they are cost effective. Some of the cons are, obviously, is they get wet and they lose some of their strength, and sometimes they are prone to tear. Compostable bags are exactly as they said. These should all be backyard compostable, which should start to break down in anywhere from 90 to 180 days, even in a backyard composting facility. One of the issues is they're commonly confused with a traditional plastic bag, and some retailers just don't want to get involved with any sort of messaging that might be confusing.
Oh, sorry.
The third type of bag is the reusable type of plastic bag. One of the pros for this type of bag is that it can be reused multiple times. One of the cons is that there's a good chance it won't be reused multiple times. Again, just like the compostable t-shirt bag,
Voice
will get
is not
confused
clear.
with some of the single-use plastic bag bans. And depending on the state or municipality that you live in, the thickness of the bag can vary from
Facebook.
anywhere from 2.25% or 2.25 mils to 12 mils for a bag. So some of the bags may or may not fit into that. Again, it's a confusing message, but it can be reused, and it does meet some of the criteria in the bag bans. This also will most likely be subject to some type of cost by the retailer. Generally 10 cents is what we've been seeing. The next bag that we're going to talk about is the non-woven polypropylene bag. This is a bag that is extremely popular as an alternative to the single-use plastic bag. It can be custom printed and customized generally in any way that you want. It's an effective tool for retailers and consumers alike because they can be made from recycled plastic. They're totally washable. They're fold up. They don't take a lot of space. Some retailers are putting in a cardboard bottom, which is an alternative. You can adjust the lengths of the handles, and just about anything that you want to customize, you can customize on these bags. One of the cons that they say is it can harbor some bacteria. However, this is a very, very popular alternative to the single-use plastic t-shirt bag. Cotton bags can be made from traditional, organic, or recycled cotton. The cotton bags are designed to be used hundreds of times. Most cotton bags are easy to clean, just throw them in the washing machine full of water, and they come out looking brand new. I guess one of the negatives is that cotton bags it requires a lot of energy to make these bags, so the environmental footprint might be something that you want to consider. A laminated bag is a step.
It's not clear. Voice. It's over, I think. Yes.
So in that case, we can switch over to video one, which is 1 minute's video.
Yeah, okay.
Don't let the nature go to waste.
We begin second video now.
Don't let nature go to waste. And
Amitabh. What happened? So, any problem is there?
That was just a 1 minute video. Very
Uh,
simple and direct and fast also.
If,
Very
if reasonable structure. WWF.
yes.
Yeah.
That's done. You can stop it now.
More
You
videos.
can stop it.
Yeah, I think it's okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, sure.
Yes, sir.
Culture has always been
Summarize
looking
me.
after, as we would
Stop
say,
me.
our earth is our mother. We come from the earth, we're linked to the earth, we're
Stop the video.
everything we do.
Bandwidth is low.
Okay, we have now come to the end of our webinar. I would like to propose a vote of thanks on behalf of the Foundation for Campaign Against Plastic Pollution. I would
you.
first like to convey our sincere thanks to Dr. Shrikant K. Panigrahi, Director General of Indian Institute of Sustainable Development.
Very good.
You made a very lively presentation. Sir, you explained to us the three aspects of sustainability which are important. All along, there is general impression that when we talk of sustainability, we are talking of environmental sustainability, but you very elaborately explained that there are three aspects of sustainability, that they are social sustainability, the environmental sustainability, and the
Economic.
Business
business sustainability.
Economic business.
Planet, people, profit. Planet, people, profit. All needs to be balanced.
Yeah, all needs to be dealt. So very well said. Then also you explained as to how the plastic pollution affects the climate change, and therefore we need to really worry about the plastic pollution, which has to be arrested without any further delay. Thank you very much, sir. You spared a lot of your time and you have joined our webinar. We are really grateful to you. Thank you very, very much. Thank you very much. Next,
Thank
I
you,
would
sir.
like to thank Dr. S.K. Nigam, the former director in the Central Pollution Control Board. You very nicely, very elaborately, you gave the entire philosophy behind how India is going to tackle the plastic pollution problem. You really explained the framework in which the government of India is trying to see that the footprint of single plastic pollution, single-use plastic,
Sure, thank you.
reduced. And it was very, very educative, very knowledgeable, very, very nicely explained. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
The Foundation for Campaign Against Plastic Pollution is really, really grateful to you for your time, for your effort in making the presentation. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Then I would like to thank Dr. Sameer Chikkali. You made a very interesting, very educative presentation, and very well put it. It is not the plastic which is a problem, it is how we use it is a problem.
Mm.
And the problem has actually emerged when the concept of single-use plastic has emerged. And we have introduced a throwaway culture. Why should we use an item once and throw it? That is a
Yeah.
very bad culture to actually develop over a period of time. And it is the single-use plastics which have been responsible for this menace. And we have to really reduce the footprint of single-use plastic. There may still be some single-use plastic which are essential. We are not asking them to be cut down. Like, for example, for fighting the pandemic that we are facing at present, the single-use plastic, PPEs, etc., are single-use plastic, but we cannot do away with them. So what is required is a safe and scientific disposal of such single-use plastic. But there are many, many unnecessary single-use plastic which have
Yeah.
to be
Minimize.
which have to be phased out. And we are not saying that we have to stop using plastic in the aircraft, building of the aircraft. 50% of parts in an aircraft are made of plastic, but that is not single-use plastic. The problem is because of the single-use plastic. So very well explained and very interestingly explained, Dr. Sameer. Thank you very much. The Foundation for Campaign Against Plastic Pollution, CAP, is very grateful to you. And we thank you very much for your time and for your energy. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Finally, I would like to thank all the members of the foundation, the CAP, who have made it convenient to participate in this seminar, this webinar. Thank you very much that you have spared your time and for your cooperation that you have extended. Then I would like to thank all the participants. Unless there are participants in an event, there is no meaning of that
Kind of.
thing. So you have a very important role and you are our ambassador. You have heard the luminaries, three luminaries speaking on the aspects of plastic pollution. And we hope that you will act as our messenger and carry the message forward to the community at your level with all resources at your command.
Thank you.
And finally, but not least, I would like to thank Miss Nidhi Srivastava, who happens to be my daughter and who has been my technical advisor in organizing this event. Without her cooperation, without her inputs, it would not have been possible to organize this event. So thank you, Nidhi. Thank you very much. Thank you once again. So I once again thank all of you. Thank you very much. We had lovely time with you all together. So we will close the webinar now. It is exactly 6 o'clock. We had planned from 4:30 to 6. So thank you. Namaskar. Good night.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.